Hello guys, this is Brian here with a couple updates here. Today is January the 18th, 2015. So now I go ahead and start with my shoulder. I went to the orthopedic doctor on the 13th and also my physical therapy. My physical therapy was first in the doctor. They're in the same building, so they combined my appointments. Um, the doctor said I'm doing extremely well. I don't need any more physical therapy, so they discharged me from physical therapy. So I'm happy about that. I don't have to go anymore, thank God. However, they did say I would have some soreness and stiffness still, so they gave me a small prescription for Tramadol, the 50 milligrams, a refill of Voltaren gel, which that helps the joint itself, anti-inflammatory, so it helps the joint to be less inflamed, what the shoulder is, and Celebrex. Now, the deal with Celebrex is it's an NSAID, so I don't take it all the time because as a weight loss surgery patient, I have to take 10 pills to counteract the effects of an NSAID. So therefore, it's a pain in the ass to take. Um, you have to take Carafate. You can either take the liquid or the tablets. You have to take that 4 times a day. You have to take 2 heartburn pills. So you have to take. They gave me Dexlant, so I have to take, which I take Dexlant anyway, but they gave me an extra prescription for 2 per day. So I have to take Dexlant 2 times a day, which I thought I was doing that a couple months ago. But the new one, somehow at the beginning of the year, middle of the year, they gave me a prescription that only had 1 per day. But the weight loss surgery doctor gave me another one, so I have 2 per day. So you take 4 of the Carafate, 2 of the heartburn pills, and then 4 of a medicine called Psychotech. That's also an anti-ulcer medicine. Now, you can't take all these pills at the same time, and you can't take all the Carafate all the same time to be convenient. No, you can't do that. You have to spread it out. You can't take the Carafate with the heartburn medicine at the same time. You can't eat hour and a half before taking the Carafate, and you can't take the Carafate 2 hours after you have to wait 2 hours after you eat. So you have to make sure these medications done right for them to work. So it's a pain in the butt if you're going to take an NSAID. So I just tell the doctor, any doctors I go to, I just say I'm allergic to NSAIDs. I just can't take them. I mean, most of them understand. And some of them ask why, and I tell them, well, because of gastric bypass, and it's a pain in the butt to take all these other medications. And now you can take NSAIDs by on the skin or IVs, okay, but not by mouth without taking those medications. Now, if you only take one out of the blue without those medications, you probably be okay. I've done that once or twice. Um, the gastric bypass doctor said if you take more than one per week, you really risking it. But if you just take one out of every 2 or 3 weeks, you just take one out of the blue, you can slide by. But they just don't recommend doing that constantly, obviously. I mean, if for instance, if you have to take an Advil out of the blue for a headache, um, that'd be okay. But there is a risk that it can cause an ulcer. Now, if you continue taking it constantly day after day, that's when you develop a serious risk of getting an ulcer. So just be careful there. So everything's okay with that. Get discharged from physical therapy. So thank God I don't have to do that anymore. Um, he said there was this chance that I can re-tear it. I just have to be careful. Nothing over 25 pounds for the year until October of 2015. So doing good there, and I'll see him again unless there's a problem. So thank God for that too. Enough seeing doctors. I don't like to go to the doctor. Let me give you another. I have another update here. I'm in the very, very beginning stages of seeing if the insurance company will cover my thighs, had excess skin to remove from my thighs. Let me repeat myself. Just in the very, very beginning stages. Not in particular hurry to get this done. However, they did tell me the reconstructive surgery guy who did my penniconectomy, the doctor did tell me that sometimes it's harder for the insurance companies to pay for the thighs. So last year, back in 2014, my primary care doctor referred me to a dermatologist. I went. I've been to the dermatologist before. I go at least once or twice a year for various skin rashes on my. I think they call it not eczema. Maybe eczema or psoriasis, one of those two. I go once or twice a year if it gets out of hand. Um, I have sensitive skin, and I will develop allergic reactions, and it flares up. That special and certain laundry detergents will break out my back, make it itchy. So I go, if that does happen, I go once or twice a year to the dermatologist. Uh, Also, luckily it didn't happen this time, but usually hospital sheets will do that to me as well. Will make my whole skin red all the place. And luckily that didn't happen around for my shoulder surgery, thankfully. But anyways, I've been going to dermatologists at least three or four times already back in 2014. I'm gonna go. For my thigh problem, I'm gonna go sometime this month. So I've been going each month at least every 30 days. Uh, he says the same thing, just like the primary care doctor, the dermatologist, the gastric bypass doctor, and the reconstructive surgeon guy said it's the rashes are not going to go away. Matter of fact, they're going to get worse. The more weight you lose, it will get worse. It's just the physics of having weight loss surgery, because you're big and then you slim down and causes a skin friction between your thighs and then stomach. And luckily, my insurance company did pay for the appendectomy done back in 2013, so I was really lucky to have that done. So hopefully, I just get the thighs done. But I do have a backup plan if Blue Cross Blue Shield Texas will not pay for it. I do have a backup plan. I'm going to show you in a second about my backup plan. But I do want to because I do have a couple of subscribers. One is French Girl in the USA. She's getting ready to have gastric bypass, and I had a couple of my other subscribers. I don't know what type of surgery they're fixing to have, but just give you a warning: the heavier you are going into having weight loss surgery, chances are you will have skin problems afterwards. And of course, it just depends on your body as well, because everybody's different. Not everybody's shaped the same. But majority of the problems the heavier you are and you have weight loss surgery, you either going to develop skin problems from the hanging skin from the stomach or the thighs or both. I had both. So you will develop problems. Also, under your arms, that's I have every once in a while I have that problem because of the loose skin. So loose skin skin problems. They're not pretty. The rashes, they're painful. Blisters and bumps and all of that. So just now going to weight loss, going to having bariatric surgery, that is a possible side effect of that, and it takes a long time to heal from skin problems. So just be careful, and hopefully, I don't pray. I hope nobody gets skin problems because that's not a fun thing to deal with at all. I mean, half the time you have to get half naked in front of the doctor and let them see it, and you get all this medications and all that crap. So it's not fun at all. And matter of fact, it gets worse in the summertime when you exercise and sweat. That's when it flares up the worst. So hopefully Blue Cross Blue Shield will pay for it. Blue Cross Blue Shield Texas will pay for it. Hopefully, I'm praying they do. So I'm kind of shooting to have this done end of 2015, probably early 2016 to mid 2016. And I'll tell you why. Ever since my shoulder surgery, I gained 20 to 25 pounds because they told me not to do no exercises until I get clearance to do so. Because they did not want me to re-injure my shoulder, which I don't. They even told me not to walk around the block even, which I kind of find that weird. And every time I thought about it, I forget to ask the doctor. Every time I went to the doctor, I forgot to ask him about that. And they did give me a thing today, last Tuesday, so I can resume exercises. So hopefully I get those 25 pounds off, first of all, because it was a combination of no exercises, eating bad foods, eating too much of it too. So weight gain does happen. Trust me, I'm experiencing it myself. So this week, tomorrow's Monday, Martin Luther King Day. So tomorrow I'm gonna start my light exercises up, and then a week or two go by, go into my heavy exercises. More walking, more on the treadmill, more using the pedal exerciser, more lifting of the little dumbbells. The orthopedic doctor told me not to do more than 10 to 15 pounds of the weights, uh, because the repetitive motion, and for a couple months. So I gotta start doing that up. So hopefully, like I said, end of 2015 to going to 2016, I'm looking to have this done. Nothing urgency like it was with the appendectomy, because with the appendectomy, I was under my group my employer's group plan with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and and I didn't know that I was not going to have good coverage going into I didn't we were told that our coverage was going to end in 2014. So I had to have that done. I had to have it done then, make sure it was paid for, and luckily it was paid for 100%. Thank God. But I do have a backup plan. If Blue Cross Blue Shield does not pay for it, I have a backup plan. Um, and let me give you a little bit background on this. Like I said, back in 2013, last couple months of the year, my employer typed out a long letter saying because of Obamacare, they don't know if they were going to offer health coverage for the calendar year 2014. And matter of fact, if we want to opt out of the coverage at any time, we were allowed to do that, because usually in the group plan, you're not allowed to opt out until the open enrollment comes back around. Unless you have certain circumstances, reduced work hours, or um, court-ordered child support. Certain qualifications that you can opt out of a group plan, but normally you can't, for the hell of it. But because of the Obamacare crap, we were allowed to. Our employer said we were allowed to. Because on January the 1st, 2014, our premiums skyrocketed, and they went up $50 to $65, and they were went up again. They would go up again because our open enrollment was in April, so it was going to go up significantly then too. Because it went up because the tax they posed on employers. So it went up, and what I did, make sure I had my when I went to the healthcare.gov exchange, I signed up for it to be effective January the 1st, but I make sure my group plan did not lapse until February the 1st. So, I had double insurance just to be on the safe side, because God knows we only knew if healthcare.gov really worked or not. So anytime you're going to switch insurance companies or lose group coverage and gain individual coverage or whatever, just make sure they overlap. Just be on the safe side, because you don't want to be caught without insurance, because believe me, emergencies do happen. Anyways, they told us we're not going to have health insurance going to, some point in 2014 they want to terminate, and they said we're going to dump you on the exchanges. So I signed up for Blue Cross Blue Shield individual plan on healthcare.gov and got my subsidy. And believe it or not, I'm going to do a video on this. Even though your employer does offer health insurance, you still may qualify for the subsidy, depending on how much the insurance costs. So I will make a video about that. So this back in 2014, September came around, and they said, well, now we are going to be offering health insurance, but it's not going to be Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas any longer. It's going to be Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, those are two separate companies. Anthem is more geared towards medium to large size employers that operate in multiple states, and the plan is very costly. I think the cheapest option was $88 per paycheck, which would get paid 2 times a year, 2 times a month, which was 88.22 times 176.44. However, it's only a 70/30 plan, which means I would have to pay the 30% instead of 80/20, like in the good old days. So I never opted into it. And it was $1,000 deductible with $4,000. Let me make sure because they sent me the packet. No, $5,000 out of pocket maximum. However, the deductible does count towards the out of pocket maximum, so in reality, you only pay $4,000 in reality. Which I'm gonna make a video about that because a lot of people don't know that under the Affordable Care Act, the deductible the out of pocket must include the deductible now. In the old days, it did not. So, and it's a 70/30. The co-pays are reasonable, but that's a $4,000 gap that I have to pay out of pocket for any kind of major medical problems. Office copays and prescription copays are okay, but God forbid if I have a medical problem that requires any kind of hospitalization or outpatient surgery, I don't have $5,000, $4,000 laying around. So that's a costly policy, so I never opted into it. But a couple weeks ago, I started emailing the Anthem rep and asked her some questions because I was reading, I was bored from my surgery, and I was looking at Anthem's website, and they sound like to be more friendlier towards people who had bariatric surgery that has excess skin problems, and they say the thighs covered, the under the arms is covered with medical documentation, appendectomy is covered real easy. So I do have a backup plan, and probably have to save for this for a long time, for a $4,000 out of pocket. But that is my backup plan to go through Anthem. I would have to lose my good Blue Cross Blue Shield coverage I have on the exchange to have this done. So just a lot of variables I have to think about. One thing I'm very impressed with Anthem is because I emailed the Anthem rep 2 weeks ago, which was January the 7th. I emailed her because that was a Wednesday, and the packet came overnighted via UPS on Thursday morning. So I was very impressed, even though I'm not an insured member with them yet. They emailed me all this contract information about our policy, and it says reconstructive surgery is covered upon medical necessity and medical review. So hopefully I get my fingers crossed. And I want to keep Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas because, first of all, I only pay $120 for it with a $500 out of pocket with no deductible. So hopefully I want to keep Blue Cross Blue Shield, and hopefully Blue Cross Blue Shield Texas will pay for it. Because Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Blue Cross Blue Shield Texas are two separate companies. The parent company of Blue Cross Blue Shield Texas is the Healthcare Service Corporation. They own Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Florida, and some maybe other couple of states. Anthem is out of they operate in a few states, but they kind of cater towards more employer-based coverage. Now in California, they're pretty big, and I think they more push towards individual. So unfortunately, people who live in Texas, like I do, you can't buy Anthem insurance unless you have employer coverage. See, Anthem. My stepfather, who works for Verizon Telephone Company, they have Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, and they say they love it. Wonderful coverage, wonderful customer service. But of course, Verizon's a huge, giant company, and they probably have VIP access like we did with my employer with Blue Cross Blue Shield, which means we ain't going through no machines. We call it special telephone number on the back of our ID cards. We got it personally instantly, and we got VIP treatment. And I think some employees pay for that stuff, so I don't know. A lot of variables to think about. If Blue Cross Blue Shield Texas won't pay for it, I might opt in to go to Anthem. But the problem with that is I'm stuck with that for a 12-month commitment with Anthem because I can't opt out of it once I have it done and hop on back onto the exchange. which I'm going to have to ask Anthem about that, because everything's changed because of Obamacare. But I'm pretty sure you can't opt out of it once you're. I mean, you can only opt out during open enrollment, and open enrollment's in October of the calendar year with the Anthem. So a lot of things to think about. Like I said, I'm just in the very, very, very beginning stages. Just going to the doctor to have the problem documented first of all, and probably sometime in May or June, I go ahead and get the medical records together and ask the doctors to do medical necessity letters and get it sent off to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas. And it would take them a month or 2 or 3 for them to do a medical review and see if they will pay for it. And if they deny, I'll go ahead and file an appeal. And then after, if the appeal's been denied, I'll go ahead and file an external review. If the external review is denied, I'll just go ahead and see if I can hop on the Anthem. Now, I know this for sure because the Anthem rep did tell me that I can, anytime I want to cancel the exchange plan, I can hop on the Anthem plan, so I don't have to wait for open enrollment for that. But I do have to wait to open enrollment to hop off of it. So that's a lot of decisions to think about and a lot of things I have to read upon. But it seems to me Anthem does pay. They offer more benefits towards skin removal from medical when it becomes medical necessity. And plus, the Anthem plan that my employer has is through Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield of Maine, so it's from the state of Maine. And I went to their website, and the only bad thing about this is they're located in Maine, so therefore they close at 4 o'clock my time because it's 5 o'clock Eastern, so they only open from 8 to 5. And Blue Cross Blue Shield, they're open to long hours, and so I don't know how Anthem works with their appeal processes and all that stuff. So a lot of things to think about, like I said, and hopefully if you have any questions, hopefully I can answer them. But I've done some research on obesityhelp.com, and it seems to me a lot of people have lots of success with Anthem paying for weight loss surgery and skin problems. So keeping my fingers crossed, and hopefully Blue Cross Blue Shield Texas will pay for it. Another thing I want you to keep an eye out. I'm doing a video, in the process of doing a video about how to lower your out-of-pocket expenses with your insurance company by using prescription copay cards like these you get from the doctor or the online from the manufacturer. Like for this year, this 2015 calendar year, I had 4 or 5 prescriptions filled, and I only paid $45 out of pocket, and I already met my out of pocket for the year. I get free medical care now, so I'm going to do a video about that and show you how to do that, because under the Affordable Care Act, prescription copays, deductibles, and all that goes towards the out-of-pocket maximum. And if you get your 90-day supply of medications and use a coupon like this, a zero copay, hey, that's $225 I didn't have to pay, and that went towards my out-of-pocket. Kind of cool. So if you have any questions or comments, please post them below. I'm sorry this video is really long, and I'd love to hear from you, and talk to y'all later.